Mihir Bose, what do you make of this now?
No, I make of this now that I think...
Mihir Bose, question to Mihir Bose in St. Petersburg. Mihir Bose.
Yeah, hello.
What do you make of this now? How long will he latch on?
I recognize that I'm still here. That's very sweet of you. And listening to the conversation, which I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
I can't hear all of it. But what I've heard so far, apart from what Kishore Bhimani and Boria said, sounds to me to be extraordinary. First of all, you have a situation where the Board of Control for Cricket in India is presented with a criminal investigation of some cricketers employed by them, and the president of the board has his son-in-law involved, allegations it is true. In this position, the first task of the president of the board is to step aside, not resign, step aside and say that he will have nothing to do with a proper investigation. Also, why hasn't the man who runs IPL, Rajiv Shukla, stepped aside? You know, this whole question needs to be looked at. People have said, I can't ask people to resign. Well, people ask people to resign all the time. What happened to President Nixon? Why did he resign? Now, of course, he was proven to have done something wrong. And I differentiate that from what has happened here. But the point is, you can take a stance, and I'm told he is not required to resign. And that is a failure, then, of the Board of Control Cricket Committee, which looks after this. The fact that it has not called for a meeting. On the board made up of members, can't they call for a meeting? Of course they can call for a meeting. Why haven't they called for a meeting?
Why?
Why haven't they asked their president to step aside? And this is the question. This is the question that all of India should be asking of those important board officials. Who are they? Don't they have any...
Two hands go up.
Don't they have any sense of integrity?
Okay, one second. Well, I think, you see, my question here is, and Kishore Bhimani, now I'm going to open this. Everyone's spoken, starting from Anand Basu. Boria says he hasn't spoken. I think Boria wants to question what Anand Basu said. But the question here is this. You see, the question everyone is asking themselves tonight is simply this. Has this simply been reduced to a game of numbers? Some 30 votes of the BCCI. You know, about majority and minority cabals. And has the question all of India is asking about the credibility of cricket been totally forgotten by people who are interested in running these cabals? And you know, I suspect that one of the reasons nobody's taking Srinivasan on is because they think Srinivasan's going to go, but the 8 or 9 or 10 members he still has with him, hopefully they'll come to us. And that is what is causing, as I would say, the silence of the lambs. Boria Majumdar, yes, last take, then we open this up.
You know, I'll be quick because I know my time is short. First, to Anand. Anand actually in his article today says 65,000 Calcuttans boo Srinivasan. Then he goes on to ask if the boo translates into saying, should he resign?
Yeah.
In my book, a boo is the worst form of castigation when it's done publicly. I don't think they were trying to kiss Srinivasan.
You want him to respond to each of the points?
1 second.
No, let him respond. Make a point, respond to each point. Anand Srinivasan respond in as much time as Boria Majumdar has taken. Then you go to the second point because you mentioned 3. I'll allow all 3, but with interjections. Would you like to respond, Anand?
Yes, I'll just say that in my article I've said I don't know exactly what that boo means. They're clearly unhappy, they're clearly expressing anger, disappointment, all of those things. But does that translate into Srinivasan must resign? I don't know the answer to that question. I can't speak for the people who were...
Why did people boo Kalmadi? Why did people boo Kalmadi? I want to ask Anand, why did people boo Kalmadi?
Well, you'll have to ask the people who did the booing. I haven't booed anyone in my life. That was not how I was brought up.
You're actually saying that, Anand. Okay, fine. You can hold on to that position for all I care.
I think Anand's given it away.
Why do you
unhappy, disappointed, angry, whatever he said, I'll take it as, you know, in my book, booing translates into a call, please go. It's castigation.
Anyway, second point.
Mr. Bimal Soni, I actually loved what you said, but the fact of the matter is, with such a voice, why didn't you come out yesterday? Why didn't you come out day before? You don't need to be a member of the working committee now. You are still not a member of the working committee.
Good point.
But you've actually come out and endorsed
He got
what
the point response.
says.
He's got the point response. I must give an equal chance to respond. Yes.
I am ready because I'm on Times now. I'm speaking my mouth. I said he should have morally resigned.
Very good.
And then the working committee should have taken a decision.
Are you speaking for yourself, or is this the view of the Rajasthan Cricket Board? Is this the view of the Cricket Association of Rajasthan?
No, I cannot take this view. I am an individual. Of course, my president may have some other view. We have a very strong president and we follow what he says. What I am trying to say is that morally, yes, legally, no. But working committee could have taken a decision, put him aside, run the show. Like asking Dhoni not to speak was an insult of my cricketer captain.
Sir, I'm sorry.
Media manager.
No, I'm very sorry. No, what you're doing, Mr. Dr. Soni, you're a very intelligent man. Well, what you're doing today is you're avoiding anything that remotely amounts to upsetting any Congress leader. You don't want to upset.
Why?
No, I'm telling you.
How do you say that, Arnab?
Well, because you're Rajasthan cricket. 1 minute. I'm saying that because you don't want to upset Rajiv Shukla because Rajiv Shukla is a congressman. You will not criticize him. You will criticize Srinivasan. You won't upset Rajiv Shukla because he and your Rajasthan Cricket Association chief, what's his name? The Union Minister, CP Joshi, is a congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you report to a congressman, don't want to upset Congress, and that's the issue. That's the issue tonight, Mr. 1 minute. That's the issue tonight.
I'm very clear.
That's why even the resignation word is not used. Will you say today Rajiv Shukla should have used the resignation word? CP Joshi should have used the resignation word. Why is CP Joshi quiet? Why has CP Joshi told us, ask me anything but about us? CP Joshi says to Times now, ask me anything but about this. Then why? Why?
Mr. Soni, you are deputy president. Why don't you go up to your president and say, this is my opinion. What is your opinion? Why don't you use the R word?
No, I have given my opinion to my president.
And what is his opinion? Then you must know his opinion. So tell us his opinion. No, if you've spoken to him, tell us his opinion.
His opinion is very clear. He says that the bigwigs who are running, he's not a very active board member, okay? But he's a member of RCA, yes. He's not an active board member. So active members like Rajiv Shukla, Arun Jaitley should have taken the lead.
So that's a...
I am very clear. I agree with Kishore. They should have taken the lead, called the working committee meeting and then taken a decision.
Kishore Bhimani is responding to that, sir. Yes,
Rajasthan is part of working committee.
Sir, come on,
I would have come there and talked.
Sir, come on. Sir, this is sounding so terrible now. This is sounding so terrible now. 1 second, Mr. Joshi. Kishore Bhimani.
I would like to make just 2 points, Arnab. Number one, you talked about a cabal and a coterie. You know, I would sum it up as an oligarchy. Oligarchy in good Greek tradition is a bunch of self-serving people who will not let go of power. Today what is happening is, we keep asking the question, subcommittee, numbers, 3/4, so many people are present and voting. Today people, some of them, cannot open their mouths because they've got skeletons in their cupboard. We know 5 associations that are guilty of a lot of things. It starts with Jammu and Kashmir, it goes down to Kerala, and there are 3 to 4 other associations who, if Srinivasan is pitched out, he will turn around and say, okay, boys and girls, now is the time for reprisal. The board has always worked like that, or not? The board has always worked by you scratch my back and I scratch yours, and if you scratch too hard, I'll scratch harder. What this whole thing is about, this oligarchy, is keeping it irrespective of whether they are Rajasthan Cricket Association, whether they are Congress supporters, BJP supporters or NCP supporters. This is all about self-serving, hanging on to power, and Srinivasan is sitting and laughing at all of them. He knows nobody can throw him out.
Well, Mihir Bose, sometimes in life you have to be direct. Now, what does Sharad Pawar say? Everyone's congratulating Sharad Pawar. I don't know why they are congratulating Sharad Pawar, Mihir Bose. Because Sharad Pawar has also refrained from directly asking for Srinivasan's resignation. All that Sharad Pawar has done is that he has given himself a certificate. Sharad Pawar said the situation would not have arisen if I had been there. And what is that? Is anyone asking Sharad Pawar what would have happened if you were there?
The argument here is, what is the proper stance to take when you have a situation like this? And what everybody here, it seems, doesn't want to take, like Mr. Vasu doesn't want to take any particular stance. It's as if things will happen. People will resign when they want to resign. No, Mr. Srinivasan doesn't have that option because of events that
he doesn't have that option.
Under his control. he doesn't have that option because of events that have happened under his control. Either he was president of the board with power, or he was a totally useless president of the board. He's got to tell us that if he's told us so far he's a great president of the board who takes decisions. Well, if he took decisions, then he must take responsibility for what has happened under his watch. It's a very, very common phrase. If under your watch something bad happens, then you stand up and say, I'm sorry, it happened under my watch, I'm stepping aside, I hold myself responsible. If things are proven to be not my responsibility, I'll come back. I'll want to come back. But as long as the present situation continues, that means I am responsible for what has happened. That is the statement you want.
Before Anand Vasu, I'd like you to respond to that. But before that, I just want to go into our next investigative report on Gurunath's secret lockers. But just food for thought. It was August 2010 before that, ladies and gentlemen. Times Now broke the CWG scam, and much in the manner and disdain with which Kalmadi treated us, Srinivasan treats us now. Much in the manner in which Srinivasan chooses to speak to some channels, Kalmadi chose to speak to some channels at that point of time. Regardless of that, a few months after the CWG scam broke, it was August 2010 if I am not mistaken, CWG Organizing Committee Treasurer Anil Khanna resigned on moral grounds after it came to light that his son's firm had secured the contract for laying the tennis surfaces. If he went, then Mr. Srinivasan, if you're watching tonight, ask yourself, the precedent is set for you. Hold a mirror, speak to your conscience, and in the meanwhile, this is what is happening to your son-in-law. Gurunath Mayappan's questioning has been underway in Mumbai for 5 straight days now. But the real action has now shifted back to Chennai, where the police has been denied access to crucial evidence at the CSK ex-boss's residence. Revealed on Times Now tonight, the mystery behind the 3 secret lockers.
At a time when more and more voices within the BCCI turned against their chief Srinivasan, his son-in-law and CSK boss Gurunath Mayappan was being produced in court, where the Mumbai police managed to get his custody extended by 2 days on the basis of this report.
Times Now has accessed an exclusive copy of the 10-page declaration made by the Mumbai police following the raid in Gurunath Mayappan's residence. This proves that Gurunath Mayappan was more than a mere sports enthusiast, contrary to the claims made by the BCCI chief. The Mumbai police also recovered Chennai Super Kings merchandise, the 2010 IPL auction list, and visiting cards that refers to Mayappan as a CSK team principal.
Accompanied by 3 of Gurunath's men, the Mumbai police searched every corner of this 2-story building on the 26th of this month. But the 3 lockers in Gurunath's bedroom were off limits even for this special team.
According to exclusive information available with Times Now, the Tamil Nadu CBCID team and the Mumbai police were denied access to the 3 secret lockers that were present in the rooms of Gurunath Mayappan and his wife. We are told that even the 3 men who were there for the search operations on behalf of Gurunath Mayappan refused to hand over the keys or disclose the passwords to open these 3 secret lockers.
Questions are now being raised on the extreme secrecy over these lockers. Could they contain evidence which could spell even more trouble for the CSK boss? But with IPL middleman Vindu and Gurunath's joint interrogation to continue, it is only a matter of time before more murky fixing details come out in the open. Bureau Report, Times Now.
For asking questions, our reporters have been insulted. For taking a position, Srinivasan refused to speak to Times Now.
Stand away, don't poke your...
Uncompromising journalism.
Hi, this is Rohan from Times Now. I just wanted to ask you this. Indian cricket has been hit by the biggest crisis since 2000 and yet we haven't heard from you. Next question, please. Oh, let him answer. He's the captain of India. It's not related with Champions Trophy. Yeah, right. I'm asking about the crisis that the Indian cricket team is going through right now. Yeah, next question, please.
Journalism of integrity. Times Now, leading India on the IPL fixing story.
Let's go back into the debate. Gulu, I gave that example of what happened in August 2010. When the CWG Organizing Committee Treasurer Anil Khanna had to resign on moral grounds because allegations about his son's company. Does that apply here in this context?
Yeah, I guess it does. But, you know, coming to the politicians who are taking stands on this, Arnab, you'd know better, but I think the last time a politician, a minister, resigned on moral grounds was in 1964 when Lal Bahadur Shastri was the railway minister and there was a railway accident and he resigned. To the best of my knowledge, in the last 50 years, no politician has resigned on moral grounds.
But some have been forced to, and then they've claimed that it was always in their mind they would have resigned anyway. The situation is simple. Situation is simple. There are two kinds. On a lighter note, on a lighter note, there are two kinds of moral resignations: voluntary and involuntary. What Lal Bahadur Shastri did was voluntary, and now you have the era of involuntary and forced moral resignations. But that's completely on a lighter note. I want to go back to G. Vinod and Bimal Soni, who seem to be taking the position that this was always on their minds. My view is, Mr. Vinod, with all respect, that you are waiting to see what the big bosses in Delhi do or say. You will seek their permission. You will take their approval.